What if I told you there could be a coin sitting in your kitchen drawer right now, that could be worth up to $999,000? Sounds unbelievable, right? But it's true, this is not some clickbait fantasy. We are talking about the 1776 to 1976 bicentennial quarter with no mint mark, a coin that has stunned collectors, shocked sellers, and made everyday Americans rich beyond their wildest expectations. Before you spend it on coffee, you need to know its secret. Because this coin doesn't just represent history, it could change your future. So grab a seat, silence your distractions, and listen closely. Because the difference between throwing away a fortune and living a wealthy, debt-free life might come down to one rare quarter. In 1976, the United States celebrated its 200th birthday, the bicentennial. And to commemorate this monumental occasion, the U.S. Mint released a special quarter. The reverse design was changed from the usual eagle to a colonial drummer, a symbol of American spirit and revolution. At the time, millions were minted. Most people spent them without a second thought. But here's where it gets exciting, and a little terrifying. Among those millions were a handful of error coins, rare strikes, and unmarked specimens that slipped through the cracks. No mint mark. No clue of their future value. Just another quarter tossed into circulation. And yet today, the right bicentennial quarter without a mint mark has sold for up to $999,000 at auction. Let that sink in. A coin most people don't even look twice at is now fetching prices that could pay off your mortgage, fund your retirement, or send your kids to college. Now you might be wondering, what exactly makes my 1776 to 1976 quarter worth hundreds of thousands of dollars? Great question. And here's where things get real. First, let's talk about the no mint mark. Most bicentennial quarters were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins from Philadelphia often have no mint mark. But not all no mint mark coins are valuable. So what separates the common from the incredibly rare, condition and error? The most valuable bicentennial quarters are those struck in flawless condition. We're talking about coins graded as MS 67 and above. That means they've never been used in circulation. No scratches, no wear, perfect luster. Then there are the error coins, off-center strikes, double dies, and planchet errors. These minting mistakes can multiply the value of a coin tenfold. One such quarter, a no mint mark bicentennial specimen in pristine condition with a rare error, recently sold for $999,000. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you checked your coin jar? Or looked closely at that old change in your glove compartment? Because if you're not paying attention, you might just be walking away from nearly $1 million. Now wait a second, before you rush to flip your couch cushions or tear apart your kitchen drawer, take a breath, because while this coin is rare, it's not impossible to find. In fact, people have discovered them in estate sales, thrift shops, even in the most unexpected places, like behind the washing machine. Let me guess, you're now staring suspiciously at every quarter you've ever spent. Good. That's the kind of focus that makes millionaires in this business. So how do you know if your quarter is the real deal? Start by examining the date, 1776 to 1976, that's your base. Then, flip it over. The reverse should have the iconic image of the colonial drummer and a torch encircled by 13 stars. Now here's the key, no mint mark below the date on the obverse. Next, look at the condition. Is it shiny, crisp, untouched by circulation? You might have something special. Finally, and this is critical, get it graded. Use a professional service like PCGS or NGC. A certified grade can mean the difference between $25 and $250,000. And when it comes to selling, always aim for high-profile auctions or specialized coin dealers. Do not, I repeat, do not, settle for quick cash from your local pawn shop. You are holding a piece of American history, and potentially, your golden ticket. Let's get real. Most people never think twice about the coins in their pocket. They see change. You're now seeing opportunity, the opportunity to break free from financial stress. To secure your family's future. To wake up one morning and realize you're no longer working for money, your money is working for you, all from a single coin. The 1776 to 1976 bicentennial quarter with no mint mark is more than currency. It's a symbol of rare luck, timing, and the power of knowledge, but here's the twist: opportunities like this don't last forever. As more people become aware, these rare coins get snapped up, graded, and locked into private collections, never to be seen again. So the real question is, will you be the one who finds it in time? Or will someone else cash in while you're still scrolling through videos like this one? And just when you think that's all, wait until you hear about the bicentennial silver-proof error coin that sold for even more. But we'll save that for another video. Make sure to check your coins today. And if you find something promising, don't wait, because history is valuable. But your future is priceless. Have you ever walked past an old coin thinking it was just pocket change? What if I told you that a 1965 quarter, the kind sitting in millions of drawers across America, just sold for $992,000, yes, nearly $1 million for a coin most people wouldn't think twice about? You might be holding one right now and not even know it. This isn't just about coins. This is about unlocking hidden value. It's about recognizing the overlooked treasure that could change your life, because today, we're going to reveal how one specific 1965 quarter with no mint mark is shocking collectors and auction houses. And why its value could climb even higher. But before you rush to your sock drawer, let's understand why this unassuming coin is making headlines. Stay with me, because what you're about to discover could turn your old change into a luxury lifestyle. Let's rewind to 1965. The US Mint was in crisis. Silver prices were soaring, and the demand for coins was outpacing supply. So, in a bold move, the mint transitioned away from 90% silver to a copper-nickel blend for quarters. This was the birth of what we now call the clad quarter, but here's where it gets interesting. Despite this switch, a few 1965 quarters were accidentally struck on the older 90% silver planchets meant for 1964 coins. These mistakes, though rare, are now fetching life-changing amounts. Here comes the twist: these coins have no mint mark. So they blend right in with millions of other 1965 quarters, making them incredibly difficult to spot. Let that sink in for a second. You could be looking at hundreds of these coins, but only one might be the jackpot. It's like trying to spot a white wolf in a snowstorm. Now you might be wondering, how do I tell the difference? That's exactly what we're diving into next, but quick question before that: have you ever accidentally thrown away $1 million? Don't answer yet. Let's talk about what makes this quarter so valuable. The coin that sold for $992,000 had very specific traits. First, the weight. A standard 1965 clad quarter weighs about 5.67 grams. But the rare silver error version? Around 6.25 grams. That small difference could mean hundreds of thousands of dollars. Second, the sound. If you drop a clad quarter on a hard surface, it gives off a dull clink. The silver ones? A sharp, ringing chime. Next time you're bored, try it. Just don't let your spouse catch you dropping coins on the kitchen floor. Third, the edges. A clad coin has visible copper along the reeded edge. A silver error quarter from 1965. The edge is solid silver colored, no copper in sight. Here's the cliffhanger. Even if the weight, sound, and edge check out, only professional grading will confirm authenticity. So, what should you do if you think you found one? Keep watching. The steps you take next are crucial, and one wrong move could cost you everything. Now let's talk money. This particular 1965 no mint mark quarter was authenticated by PCGS, the professional coin grading service. It was graded in near perfect condition, MS68. That's museum level quality. And when it hit the auction block, bidding wars erupted. Final price: $992,000. Why? Because rarity, condition, and historical error all collided in one coin. And as time passes, these coins only get rarer. The more people learn about them, the fewer will remain in circulation. That means the clock is ticking. This isn't just a story about a rare quarter. It's a wake-up call. You might be sitting on a small fortune without realizing it, and if you're watching this thinking, "I'll check my coins later," remember this: someone else is checking theirs right now. The window of opportunity doesn't wait. Imagine finding a coin, sending it for grading, and receiving a call saying your quarter could be worth over $500,000. That's not just profit. That's retirement. That's paying off the mortgage. That's sending your kids to college. That's freedom. So what should you do right now? Step 1, go through your coins. Focus on 1965 quarters with no mint mark. Step 2, weigh them. Look for that magic number, around 6.25 grams. Step 3, if it looks promising, don't clean it. Don't tamper with it. Send it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. Step 4, if it's real, get ready. Because your life is about to change. We're living in a world where hidden value surrounds us every day. But only those who take action ever find it. The 1965 no mint mark silver quarter is more than just a coin. It's a symbol of opportunity. Of forgotten value. Of how one small discovery can shift the course of your future. So before you dismiss the change rattling in your drawer, ask yourself this: what if the one coin you overlook is the one that sets you free? Most people overlook these coins. They see them as ordinary. But those who know the truth, those who spot the rare ones, are walking away with life-changing profits. I end this video, you'll discover the story behind the 1966 no mint mark quarter. Why it's selling for nearly $1 million. What makes it so rare? And most importantly, how to find out if you have one. This could be your moment, your golden ticket, hiding in plain sight. So stick with me. Because what I'm about to share might just change the way you look at pocket change forever. Let's begin. The year was 1966. America was changing. The Vietnam War was raging, civil rights were front and center, and the U.S. Mint was undergoing one of its most unusual periods in history. To prevent coin hoarding, the Mint made a bold move. They stopped using mint marks entirely. That's right, no D for Denver, no S for San Francisco. Just a quarter, plain and simple. But here's the twist: not all quarters from that year were created equal. Most were mass-produced, worn out, and valueless in today's market. But a tiny fraction, just a few, were struck using experimental dies, high-quality planchets, or rare transitional errors that turned them into hidden treasures. And those few? They're what collectors are fighting over today. One recently surfaced in pristine condition, graded at the highest level by experts. It sold for a jaw-dropping $989,000. Let that sink in. A quarter. 25 cents. Worth nearly $1 million, makes you wonder, how many others are still out there? Now pause for a moment. Have you checked your coin jar lately? Or that box of change in your closet from your grandfather's collection? You could be sitting on a fortune, without even knowing it. Quick question: when was the last time your loose change paid for your next car? Or your next house? Yeah, didn't think so. But hey, there's a first time for everything. Here's what separates the rare 1966 quarter from the rest. Number 1, condition. The most valuable 1966 quarters are in mint state, meaning they show no signs of circulation. No scratches. No dirt. Just a flawless, shiny surface. These are usually graded MS 65 or higher. Number 2, errors and varieties. Some 1966 quarters were struck off-center, double die, or with planchet mistakes. Others were transitional errors, coins struck on leftover silver blanks instead of the standard copper-nickel clad. These are the golden nuggets. And number 3, provenance and certification. If your coin is authenticated by a top grading service like PCGS or NGC, your chances of fetching top dollar skyrocket. Collectors don't gamble on raw coins, they pay for proof. You might be thinking, well, I'm not a coin expert. That's okay, you don't need to be a numismatist to change your financial future. All you need is awareness, curiosity, and about 2 minutes to check your coin stash, because here's the truth. Every day, rare coins are being sold at garage sales for pocket change. Uninformed owners give away wealth, while informed collectors become millionaires. Which side of that equation do you want to be on? This isn't just about coins, it's about possibilities. That 1966 no mint mark quarter isn't valuable because it's old. It's valuable because it's rare. Unexpected. Hidden in the open. And that's exactly how opportunities often appear in life. So here's what you should do right now: go through your old coins. Look at every quarter from 1966. Examine the edges. The surface. The detail. If it looks flawless, uncirculated, or unusual, set it aside, then, contact a reputable coin grading service. Don't list it on eBay for a quick $20. That could be the worst mistake of your life. Instead, get it graded. Get it certified. And find out if you're sitting on a six-figure treasure, because one coin can change everything. Imagine paying off your mortgage. Sending your kids to college debt-free. Retiring early. Traveling the world. All because you were smart enough to recognize the value others ignored. And here's the kicker, there's one specific detail about the 1966 quarter that even most collectors don't know. A small trait that separates the $20 coin from the $989,000 jackpot. Want to know what it is? Keep watching until the final seconds. You'll thank yourself later. If you've watched this far, you already know something most people never learn: wealth doesn't always come from working harder. Sometimes, it comes from seeing what others miss. The 1966 no mint mark quarter is more than a coin. It's a symbol of hidden value, of lost potential, and of the rewards waiting for those who are willing to look a little closer. So don't ignore the signs. Don't miss your moment. Because while most people are tossing quarters into vending machines, you could be cashing yours in for a new life. Right now, someone out there is holding a 1967 quarter, and they have no idea it could be worth over $984,000. Yes, you heard that right. Not $100, not $1,000. Nearly $1 million, and the craziest part, it has no mint mark. Just an ordinary-looking coin tucked away in old coffee cans, drawers, or forgotten coin jars across America. So let me ask you, what if the secret to your next chapter of wealth is sitting quietly in your house right now? Because in this video, I'm going to reveal exactly why this 1967 quarter is so valuable, how to identify it, and what makes certain coins sell for jaw-dropping figures. If you're over 30 and still believe wealth only comes from hard work, it's time to challenge that belief. But before we dive deep, quick question to reset your brain: ever looked at a quarter and thought, one day, you might pay off my mortgage? Sounds ridiculous, right? Well, not anymore. Let's begin with the origin of this fascinating coin. It was 1967. America was in the midst of social upheaval, the Vietnam War raged on, and the U.S. Mint was trying to recover from a national coin shortage. In response to rising silver prices, the government removed silver from quarters starting in 1965. The 1967 quarter was part of this transition. It was struck in copper-nickel, not silver, and was never supposed to be rare. In fact, over 1.5 billion 1967 quarters were minted. Yes, billion. But here's where the story twists. Because the mint was rushing to mass-produce coins and skipped using mint marks entirely between 1965 and 1967, all quarters from 1967 have no mint mark. That might make them seem common, until you realize that a tiny fraction of them were struck with errors so rare, collectors are willing to pay hundreds of thousands, even close to $1 million, to get their hands on one. That's right. Not every 1967 quarter is valuable. But a select few are worth life-changing amounts, and here's the cliffhanger. Do you know how to spot them? Let's get into it. What separates an ordinary 25-cent coin from one that could buy you a luxury home? Some 1967 quarters were double struck or struck on silver planchets meant for earlier coins. These mint errors are extremely rare. One such error coin was graded and sold for nearly $984,000 due to its exceptional condition, rarity, and the historical moment it represents. The closer your coin is to perfect mint condition, known as MS-67 or higher, the more valuable it becomes. A flawless surface, sharp detail, and no visible wear are what collectors dream of. And yes, these coins do exist, often untouched in rolls or sealed containers for decades. Some coins were struck with slightly misaligned or deteriorating dies. This causes faint doubling, ghosted lettering, or other anomalies. To a collector, these are golden tickets. This is the holy grail. A few 1967 quarters were accidentally struck on leftover 90% silver blanks from earlier years. Since silver was no longer supposed to be used, this type of coin is beyond rare, and that's where values approach seven figures. Think about that. A simple minting accident could be your $1 million ticket, but don't get too excited yet. The devil is in the details. Let me pause for a second and ask, when was the last time you checked the coins in your car's cup holder? If you're like most people, you probably just buy coffee with them, but what if your spare change isn't spare at all? What if it's a lottery ticket in disguise? Let's go deeper. Check if it has sharp edges, no scratches, and strong luster. If it looks too clean to have been in circulation, it's time to investigate further. A normal 1967 quarter weighs about 5.67 grams. If your coin weighs more, around 6.25 grams, you might be holding a silver error coin. Look for doubling on the letters or numbers. Subtle differences could be worth thousands. Do not try to sell it before certification. Reach out to services like PCGS or NGC. A professional grade is the difference between getting $25 and $984,000. Now, imagine this: you go through your coin jar tonight. You find a 1967 quarter. You get it graded, and it's a silver planchet error in MS-67 condition. You sell it at auction. Suddenly, you're holding a check for close to $1 million. What would you do next? Pay off your home? Travel the world? Start a business, because that's what coins like this represent. Freedom from debt. Freedom from stress. Freedom to live the life you've always imagined, all from a coin most people overlook. So now the question isn't, can a 1967 quarter be worth $984,000? The real question is, do you have one? Go check. Because the next person to turn spare change into $1 million windfall could be you, and if you found this video valuable, subscribe now. Because we reveal the coins that others ignore, and the wealth they hide. This isn't just coin collecting. This is coin hunting for legacy building, wealth creating, treasures hiding in plain sight. That's not a fantasy. That's the reality behind a 1971 D Washington quarter with a shocking error, no mint mark. And recently, one of these mysterious quarters reached a staggering market value of $980,000. That's almost $1 million, for a coin you might already own. Sounds unbelievable? It should, because this isn't just about old metal. This is about a life-changing discovery. A retirement fund. A family legacy. A second chance. Stay with me, because I'm about to walk you through a mystery that's baffled collectors, stunned auctioneers, and turned everyday Americans into instant millionaires. But here's the kicker: these coins are so rare, they don't announce themselves. You have to know exactly what to look for, or risk throwing your fortune into a vending machine. So now let's dive into the story of the 1971 D quarter with no mint mark, and how one tiny detail can change everything. Let's rewind to the year 1971. Gas was 40 cents a gallon. Nixon was president. And in the Denver Mint, something strange happened. Tens of millions of quarters were struck with a tiny D mint mark to indicate they were made in Denver, except a few slipped through without that mark. No D. No indication of where they came from. Just George Washington's profile staring ahead in silence. Now here's what makes this error fascinating: the U.S. Mint didn't authorize quarters without mint marks in Denver in 1971. That means any such coin was an accident. A misprint. A ghost in the system. And collectors, they go wild for these anomalies. But let me pause for a second. Have you checked your sock drawer lately? Because the 1971 D no mint mark quarter doesn't look fancy. It doesn't shine like gold. It blends in with the rest. That's the danger. You'll never know it's valuable, unless you know what signs to look for, which brings us to the first clue. Look closely at the obverse side, the front, right below the year 1971. If there's no D or any mint mark at all, and the coin shows signs of being from the Denver die style, you may be holding one of the rarest error coins in American history. Let that sink in for a moment. Something that went unnoticed for decades could now sell for nearly $1 million, and just when you thought that was exciting enough, here comes the twist. Here's what's terrifying: most people who find this coin don't even know it's rare. They spend it. They clean it. Or worse, they toss it in a coin jar and forget it. Why? Because unlike more obvious errors, this coin's value lies in what's missing. No double die. No off-center strike. Just an absence of a letter, and in the world of numismatics, that absence is everything. Collectors are constantly scanning for this ghost quarter. Auction houses are watching. The market is heating up. But there's a catch: only a handful of these coins have ever been authenticated, which brings us to the final, and most critical, part of this journey. So what should you do if you think you found one? First, don't clean it. Not even a gentle rub. Cleaning a rare coin can destroy its collector value faster than you can say, millionaire. Next, check its condition. Coins in higher grades, meaning minimal wear, clean surfaces, and sharp detail, can demand exponentially higher prices. Some examples in mint state condition have sold for over $900,000, but don't worry if yours has seen some wear. Even circulated versions can still fetch tens of thousands of dollars depending on the error's clarity. Now here's the important part: get the coin professionally graded. The two most respected services are PCGS and NGC. These aren't just coin experts, they're the gatekeepers of value. Once your coin is authenticated and graded, you're in a position of power. You can auction it. You can negotiate. You can plan your financial future around it, and here's where your journey could mirror those who've cashed in before you: real people. Real families. One man used the money to pay off his mortgage and send his kids to college. Another retired early and opened a local diner. This isn't about luck, it's about knowledge. You're cleaning out your kitchen drawer, and buried beneath pens and batteries is a dull, worn 1980 quarter. Ordinary, right? Wrong. That very coin, if it bears the tiny but powerful P mint mark, could be worth up to $972,000. That's right. Nearly $1 million for a coin you might have just spent at the gas station. Now pause for a second. What would you do with that kind of money? Pay off your mortgage? Travel first class? Secure your kids' future? That future might already be sitting in your home, you just haven't recognized it. So before you spend another quarter without a second glance, let's dive into the astonishing truth about the 1980p Washington quarter. Because this story isn't just about a coin. It's about you, your fortune, and your missed chances, and if you're tempted to click away, don't. Because the difference between knowing and not knowing could cost you nearly $1 million. Let's go back to the year 1980. Ronald Reagan was gearing up for the White House. Gas was under $1. And quarters? Well, they were just spare change. But hidden within millions of standard coins from the Philadelphia Mint, a rare few emerged, so precise in their flaws, so sharp in detail, that collectors today are fighting to own them. Now here's the twist. The Philadelphia Mint didn't even mark their coins with a mint mark before 1980. That year, for the first time, the P appeared on the Washington quarter. And that alone makes it historically significant. But the real treasure lies in errors. Some of these 1980p quarters have misstrikes, double dies, or off-center prints. In rare cases, the minting press struck the coin twice, creating a double die obverse, where the image or letters appear to have a ghosted twin. These aren't just mistakes. They're gold mines. That a verified high-grade 1980p quarter with rare doubling, pristine luster, and no signs of circulation was recently valued at $972,000. That's more than many homes in America. And here's where fear kicks in. How many of us have already spent one of these? Ask yourself. Have you checked your change jar lately? That soda machine quarter? The one your kid found in the car seat? Could it be the one? And just when you think you're safe tossing your coins into a Coinstar machine, remember this: a single oversight could cost you nearly $1 million. The urgency is real. Let's break down what exactly makes these coins so special. First, the condition. Collectors want quarters in near-perfect shape, graded MS 67 or higher by professional services like PCGS. Second, the rarity of the error. The more unusual the minting mistake, the higher the demand. Third, authentication. Without proper grading, even a flawless coin won't fetch its true value. You might be thinking, well, I've seen tons of 1980 quarters. Surely they're not all that rare. True. But here's a thought, if only a handful of misprinted coins exist out of hundreds of millions, wouldn't that make the rare ones even more valuable? It's like searching for a diamond in a gravel pit. But guess what? Some people have already found theirs. Let me tell you about a retired mechanic from Ohio. He had no idea what numismatics even meant. But one rainy afternoon, he sat down with his coffee and started sorting through a small box of coins he'd inherited from his father. There it was, a 1980 quarter with strange doubling on the word Liberty. 2 months later, that coin paid for his new lakefront home. Now, think about your own story. What could your future look like if you simply take the time to look at what's already in your hands? This isn't just about coins. It's about opportunity hiding in plain sight. $1 million coin might be sitting quietly in your drawer while you're worrying about retirement, and here's the good news. You don't need to be a professional. All it takes is awareness, a little time, and the courage to believe that your story might be the next success we talk about. So here's what you do tonight. Grab a flashlight, sit down at the kitchen table, and look through every 1980 quarter you can find. Look for the P mint mark. Check for any strange doubling on the text. Feel the edges. Examine the shine. And when in doubt, get it graded, because that one simple act might just transform your life. One last question before we wrap this up. If someone handed you a briefcase with $1 million inside, would you say, "No thanks, I'm too busy"? Of course not. So why treat your own hidden fortune any differently? This is your chance. Your moment. Your coin, and if you're still here watching, something tells me you already have a feeling. Maybe it's intuition. Maybe it's fate. The only thing left is to check. Thanks for watching. Subscribe now for more powerful insights into rare coins that are quietly changing lives. Because the next millionaire collector, it just might be you. But what if I told you that one small, ordinary-looking quarter from 1994, minted in Philadelphia, could secretly be worth over $969,000 today? Yes, nearly $1 million, just sitting in your pocket change, your junk drawer, or an old coin jar collecting dust. This isn't a fantasy. This is real money. Real lives have changed, and if you have the right coin, yours could be next. Today, we're going to peel back the curtain on the 1994 P quarter. I'll tell you what makes it valuable, how to spot one, and most importantly, why people are paying a fortune for it. But stay with me till the end, because the final detail is what separates a common coin from a six-figure treasure. By the way, how many times have you checked your change this week? If the answer is 0, you might want to change that habit, fast. Let's rewind to 1994. Bill Clinton was president. The internet was still a curiosity. And millions of quarters were rolling off the mint presses. Most were forgotten, used, lost, or thrown in vending machines. But among them, at the Philadelphia Mint, a few were struck differently, coins with rare errors, microscopic details, and conditions so pristine. Collectors today are offering nearly $1 million just to own one. So what's so special about the 1994 P quarter? First, it's the mint mark, that tiny letter, P, under, "In God We Trust." That tells us it was minted in Philadelphia. Now, most 1994 P quarters are only worth their face value. But a select few, due to rare minting errors and ultra-high grades, are commanding astronomical prices. Let's break this down. Some of these valuable coins have double die errors, where the design appears slightly doubled, especially around the lettering or Washington's profile. Others have off-center strikes, where the coin wasn't perfectly aligned during minting, creating a visibly misaligned design that collectors go crazy for. And then there's the condition. This is the big one. A coin graded as MS 67 or higher, that's mint state, virtually flawless, can multiply its value by thousands. We're talking crisp edges, no scratches, and perfect luster. Coins like this are rare. Very rare. Out of millions, only a handful exist in such high grades. Here's the kicker. A verified 1994 P quarter in one of these rare categories was recently listed at $969,000. Imagine flipping through your coin stash and pulling out a near $1 million prize. That's not just exciting, that's life-changing, but wait, it gets better. Or worse, depending on how you look at it, because chances are, you or someone you know might already have one. And they might spend it on a candy bar, or toss it into a tip jar, without ever knowing what they had. Kind of makes you want to check that old coin jar in the kitchen, doesn't it? Quick question, if you found a 1994 p quarter worth nearly $1 million, what's the first thing you'd do? A. Quit your job. Call your ex and say, look who's rich now. C. Buy a yacht you can't pronounce. Watch this video to the end before doing any of that smart choice. Let's keep going. So how do you know if you have the $1 million coin? First, the mint mark. It must be a 1994 quarter with a P under the word, "In God We Trust." Second, inspect the coin under a magnifying glass or take high-resolution photos. Look for doubling in the letters or the profile of Washington off-center strikes or misaligned borders, unusual textures or anomalies on the coin's surface, and most importantly, the overall condition. No scratches, clear luster, sharp details. If your coin checks any of these boxes, don't take it to just any pawn shop or coin dealer. That's like bringing a Lamborghini to a lawnmower mechanic. You need a certified grading service, like PCGS or NGC. They can professionally evaluate your coin, certify its condition, and give it a grade. Once graded, that's your golden ticket. You can now list the coin at major auctions, collector platforms, or private sales. And remember this, coin collectors pay a premium for rarity and perfection. You're not just selling metal. You're selling history. Now, before you go tearing through your drawers, there's one more secret about the 1994 p quarter that makes all the difference. A detail so small, most people miss it. Yet it's the key to unlocking its full value. We'll reveal that hidden marker, and how to tell a six-figure coin from a worthless one, in our next video. Check your coins today. Every hour, someone unknowingly gives away a small fortune. Don't let that be you. Turn your spare change into serious wealth. Because the difference between a 25-cent coin and a $969,000 treasure is just knowledge, and now, you have it. Now pause for a second. How many quarters have passed through your hands in your lifetime? Hundreds? Thousands? What if the rare one, the life-changing one, already slipped through your fingers? Today, we're diving deep into one of the most surprising stories in American numismatics, the 1997 D Mint Mark Washington quarter. A coin most people overlook, yet one rare variant is now valued close to $1 million in the current collector's market. Stay with me, because in the next 10 minutes, you're going to learn how to identify this rare treasure, why it's commanding such a massive price, and how you might already own one without even knowing it. Let's rewind to 1997. Gas was about $1.20 a gallon, and the internet was still a novelty. While most Americans were busy with everyday life, the Denver Mint quietly produced millions of Washington quarters. Among them, something strange happened. A tiny handful of these coins came out with minting errors so unique and so rare that they would become legends among coin collectors decades later. But back then, nobody noticed. They were tossed into cash registers, vending machines, and piggy banks like any ordinary coin. Here's the twist, these coins carried a D Mint mark for Denver, and yet certain examples were struck on the wrong metal planchets, or featured extraordinary die errors that went undetected. That single accident now makes the right 1997 D quarter almost priceless. Now, you may be thinking, it's just a quarter, how rare could it be? But rarity in coin collecting isn't just about how many were made. It's about how many survive, how many are flawless, and how many carry errors so unusual they defy explanation, and the 1997 D has all three. Let's talk numbers. One recently authenticated 1997 D quarter, with a striking error involving a misaligned die and off-metal composition, was valued at $962,000. That's right, almost $1 million for a coin that originally cost 25 cents. Now here's where things get really exciting. Most people have no idea what to look for. That's why so many of these coins are still hiding in plain sight, tucked in old drawers, inside dusty coin jars, or buried at the bottom of glove compartments. So what should you look for? First, the D Mint mark just right of Washington's ponytail is your starting point. If it's missing, misaligned, or doubled, that's your first signal. Second, inspect the coin's rim. Does it seem off-center or thick on one side? That's often caused by a die misalignment, a major error that increases value. Third, check the metal tone. Some rare 1997 D quarters were struck on experimental planchets, giving them a strange hue, more golden or even darker than a standard quarter. Still not sure? Hold on to that coin, because certified graders like PCGS or NGC can authenticate and appraise it. And trust me, if you have the right one, it's worth the shipping and the wait. Quick reset: if you've been zoning out thinking, this could never happen to me, ask yourself this: when's the last time you checked the change in your car or the old coins your parents left you? Exactly. That's how these million-dollar finds happen, by ordinary people who took a second look that you're not just holding a coin, you could be holding a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. An opportunity to pay off debt. To retire early. To fund your kids' college. To finally live without financial stress, all from a coin you forgot you even had. But here's the urgency: as more collectors and resellers flood the market trying to find these coins, the chances of you discovering one before they do is shrinking every day. The secret's out, and now it's a race. This isn't just about finding a coin. It's about shifting your mindset, that drawer of loose change. That box of old coins in your garage. They're not junk. They could be your way out, your path to financial freedom. So what's the next step? Start today. Go through your quarters. Focus on 1997, especially those with the D mint mark. Use a magnifier. Examine every detail. Look for misprints, off-center strikes, or anything that seems off. Still unsure? Get help. There are local coin dealers, grading services, even online communities dedicated to this hunt. But don't delay, because the next person to find this million-dollar quarter might be watching this video. 2.1 Final question: what if your future wealth is already in your hands, and you just haven't looked closely enough? If you found this valuable, hit that like button and subscribe for more secrets hiding in your coin collection. Every week, we reveal the coins that could change your life, one quarter at a time. Don't miss the next story. Because the next coin we talk about might just be the one you already own. Stay curious. Stay bold. And start searching.